No, I'm good. Let's go.
That it? You ready to talk about the schedule?
Yes, sir.
Well, the first thing we're going to have to talk about is tonight's game, Benny, because it opens up the 2023-2024 schedule. And we don't have any numbers. This is week one, so there's no differential to talk about, but we can talk about them in a number of different ways. You ready? Here we go. Let's open it up. You were talking about those Detroit Lions. They're at the Kansas City Chiefs, Benny. Now, when I looked at this, the Chiefs obviously were favored, based on last year's performance. The Chiefs, however, coming in maybe a little hobble with Kelce. I posted the question, who was more valuable to their quarterback, Kelce to Mahomes or Gronk to Brady? Because I used to say, Brady with Gronk was, that was his that kept him at the top of his game because he could throw the Gronk. Not everybody could do that. So you got the Lions, and they have to travel. They got to go into KC, and KC is missing somebody on their defensive line, aren't they?
Yeah, old Chris Jones is still holding out for another contract. We saw Mr. Bosa get his in the 11th hour, so he'll be ready to go this weekend. But I don't know about Chris Jones. I mean, we still got the rest of today for him to sign.
Well, I'm wondering, did Bosa's numbers set any level of a standard for Chris Jones? You know
That's
how
interesting.
that
That's
kind of
going to be
happened for
very
Lamar.
interesting. Yeah, that's going to be very, very interesting because I think it was a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about the top 100 and we went through the top 10. Chris Jones's name was on there, but so
Right.
was Bosa's, and Bosa was higher, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So now I think it would have served Chris Jones well to maybe try to get signed before Bosa. It would have been better for Bosa. You see what I'm saying? Because Chris Jones is going to be hard pressed to get as much money as Bosa. He really is. He
Okay.
really. They're going to say, "Dude, we love you," but that's freaking Bosa. You know what I mean? So he's
Yeah.
got a bit of a cap on what he can sign for. That's my opinion.
I don't think the inside rushers get paid as much as the edge rushers
They do
anyway.
not. They do
So,
not.
yeah, position wise, he's at a disadvantage there.
Unless you're Aaron Donald.
However, Benny, well, okay, that's true too. Um, how do you think that's going to impact tonight's game?
Well, first of all, the Kansas City Chiefs defense is not stellar by any means. Missing Chris Jones is going to be a big, big thing for them if he is not able to play. But I think what's even going to be bigger is the possibility of Travis Kelce not being able to go. Now, personally, I think he's going to try to tough it out. I really do. We already seen a little flim flam going on with this injury. First, it was a hyperextended knee, then it turned into a bone bruise. So, what it sounds like, in order for both of those things to be possible, would be he would have had to bang knees with somebody, which of course is quite possible that it happened in practice. He banged knees with somebody, which caused the bone bruise, and the person he banged into pushed his knee back, which would have caused him to suffer the hyperextension. So I'm not saying nobody's lying. I'm just saying we don't exactly know what's going on here. Supposedly they're going to run him through some tests or a little workout this morning before they determine whether he'll be considered active or not. That being said, the Detroit Lions offense should be clicking on all cylinders. I cannot wait to see Amon St. Brown on the field again. I cannot wait to see this rookie running back, Jahmyr Gibbs. And I cannot wait to see the number 2 punch behind the 1-2 punch of running back of David Montgomery, who basically carried the running game for the Chicago Bears last week. All that being said, I'm picking the Detroit Lions to go into Arrowhead and win that game.
Oh.
Might as well start off the season with an upset, bro.
There'll be some kneecap biting in Kansas City.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, I mean, what do you think about the Lions defense? I mean, I know you say Kansas City's defense is not stellar, but do the Lions now have a stellar defense? Because like I said, they've been scoring points all along. They picked up a Jahmyr Gibbs, but they lost Swift, you know. So, I mean, you know, I don't know how much of a net add that is, but I don't know how much better their defense is.
Personally, I think that's a big net add, but we'll see. Defensively, they were not stellar. In fact, they were far from stellar. I don't remember where they ended up in last year's rankings or how much lower they were from the Chiefs. I have a funny feeling there wasn't that big of a difference. They did make some additions. I believe they will be positive additions, but I don't know that they made enough additions that will make that big of a difference defensively for them. See, here's the problem for the Chiefs. First of all, the Lions do have Aiden Hutchinson, who is a really, really good, borderline great pass rusher already, just going into his second year. Also, I challenged a couple of people that wanted to argue with me about stuff in the gym. And I real fast said, real quick, name a Kansas City wide receiver. And they went, Every once in a while, I got a Sky Moore. Every once in a while, I got a Juju, who's not there anymore. He's with New England. That could be a problem. And without Kelce, Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, these are the people they're going to be depending on. I'm not saying they can't get it done. Yeah, that's true. Mahomes is still running things back there. I'm not saying they can't get it done. I'm not saying come over here and picket my house if Kansas City wins the game. All I'm saying is I think it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. Not so much because Detroit's defense is so much better, but because Kansas City's offense will definitely be challenged.
Okay. Yeah. I'm interested to see that also because again, so often the interplay between Kelce and Mahomes on plays and when they break down. That interplay, that dance between Kelce and Mahomes is something that is just almost instinctual between those two now. So now you got to run the play. You got to read, you got to hit the open man. You don't want to be messing around too much, rolling around, especially this early. And like you said, Aiden Hutchinson will run his butt down. He is somewhat of a force, and I got to give it to him. So, but he was there last year also when they were getting waxed and they were getting, beat up, and he's one man. So I don't know how much they've improved their defense. So you like the Lions, and we will leave it at that.